Hopping from tree to tree, Keijuo followed Kenji and Yasuo from behind, his mind working on overdrive as he tried to come up with a solution. Seeing the tree branch where Yasuo had died during the first turn, Keijuo immediately stopped, causing the other two to stop almost at the same time. "What's wrong, Keijuo?" Kenji asked immediately as he turned to look at Keijuo. "There is an ambush up ahead, in the direction of northwest. They will attack us soon enough. We can't beat them, they have a Jonin in their ranks," Keijuo said before turning to look in the direction he had just told them the ambushers were in. "How do you know that?" Yasuo spoke for the first time since he had met him on the first turn. "I can sense their chakra, and that guy has more than triple of Kenji's chakra." Kenji turned doubtful eyes toward Keijuo, however after a moment of contemplation he nodded his head. "All right, we'll go back to camp and report this quickly. Better to be safe than dead in some ditch." Keijuo and Yasuo nodded their head. Relief tore through Keijuo's mind at seeing the captain make a smart decision. "Good. This way the camp will know of these guys, however they won't know that an ambush for the whole camp is going to happen near sunset." Keijuo thought to himself, however he shook his head, deciding to see how this turn would end up. Turning around, the group started heading back to camp, and 20 minutes later they returned once more. The trio headed to the camp commander's tent immediately. They got stopped at the tent's entrance where a guard asked them what they needed. "We have to talk with the commander quickly. There was an enemy ambush less than 4 kilometers away from the camp." Keijuo spoke quickly before Kenji could even utter out any words. Seeing the urgency in Keijuo's voice, the man nodded his head quickly and let them through. Once inside the tent, Keijuo saw that it was much bigger than his own and even had a large wooden table in the middle with a huge map placed on top of it. Documents and files of all types were scattered around the tent, and sitting on a chair behind the large wooden table was a man with black hair that was tied up in a ponytail. Keijuo immediately knew what clan the ninja was from just from his looks. "Anara, if I'm not wrong then his name is Shikaru Nara," Keijuo thought before Kenji walked to the front of the group and started talking with Shikaru, explaining the situation to him. After a few moments of talk, the commander turned toward Keijuo and looked at him intently for a few moments. "You're a sensor?" the man asked as he stared at Keijuo. "Yes sir, though my range is quite limited, however the group was close enough that even I could sense them lying in ambush." "I see, I'll send an Anbu team to check up on the location. You will go with them and lead them to the destination," Shikaru said to Keijuo. This wasn't a request, it was an order. "Yes sir," Keijuo said immediately. A thought whirred through Shikaru's mind as he looked at the young shinobi before him. His reply was fast, almost too fast. And the fact that he managed to keep the fact that he was a sensor from everyone until now is suspicious. The village should have already known, but there is nothing on his file about it. "I'll have to keep an eye out. I'll tell the Anbu to observe him closely as well," Shikaru thought as he looked at Keijuo and nodded his head. At that moment, Shikaru started flaring his chakra in timed pulses, and merely a few seconds later 5 ninja wearing grey outfits and marks on their faces appeared before him. "Team Hawk, you will take this young ninja. He will lead you to a spot where it is suspected a group of Cloud Shinobi are lying in wait. Eliminate them all and come back," Shikaru said to the 5 who nodded their head and turned toward Keijuo, motioning for him to follow them. Quickly Keijuo nodded his head and started running after them, using chakra to enhance his speed, but even then, he felt like a damned snail when compared to the Anbu ahead of him. They weren't even using Shunshin anymore, and he still couldn't even come close to the 5 as they headed out of the camp and jumped from tree to tree. After 15 minutes, with Keijuo having slowed the team down significantly, the group arrived at the location where the ambush was once more. Keizo quickly pointed out the location of where he had met the enemy ninjas on the first turn. One of the Anbu wearing a hawk mask came forward and nodded his head, quickly forming some hand seals with one hand. He's communicating with the team using hand signs and not using a jutsu. Keizo quickly figured out as the rest of the Anbu made sets of hand signs quickly before what looked like the captain nodded and disappeared from the location with two other Anbu, leaving Keizo and two others back. I have to learn the Shunshin. That jutsu's usability is probably one of the highest if not the highest in the entire series. Keizo thought as he stared in the direction of the forest clearing. It was only a few seconds later when he heard the sounds of fighting. Boom *** clang ***. Booming sounds were heard as well as the sounds of blades clashing against one another, the forest lighting up on fire from the jutsus and spreading around quickly. 1 minute and 40 seconds, that was how long Keizo counted before he saw the Anbu come back once more. In 1 minute and 40 seconds, they dispatched a Jonin and at least two other genin if not more. Is this what an Anbu is capable of? Keizo thought as he stared at the group, shivers running down his spine. An extra chapter, I might release another one today. I hope y'all are liking how the story is progressing. Thanks for reading and for all the awesome comments. 3. Lots of love. Naruto author.